Let me ask you something. How long have you been the most qualified person in the room, but without the piece of paper to prove it? I have another question for you. How long have you been doing the work, leading the projects, moving and driving the results while watching opportunities go to people with letters after their names? Hmm. If that question sits close to home, you're exactly who this session is for. Good morning from beautiful Barbados. Good morning, New York. Good afternoon, London, Lagos. And you can put in the chat where you're from so I can say a special good morning or good evening to you. I am Pamela Eversley. On behalf of the International School for Development Justice, I want to say we built this school for you, not for the person who has time to pause their career for 3 years or for someone who can relocate for a degree. We are for the working professional who is ready to level up without stepping back. Here's what I need you to know right now before we go any further. In 16 weeks, that is 4 months, you can earn a UWI postgraduate certificate, a real internationally recognized qualification from a 75-year-old university built around the most important agenda on the planet, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. 16 weeks. You keep your job, you keep your life, you gain your credential. Now, here is my promise to you for the next 45 minutes. By the time we're done, you will know exactly which program fits where you're going, what it will actually cost you, and the precise steps to submit your application today. Our application team is here live. Every question you have or have been afraid to ask, you can ask us today. Our August intake is coming. The window is open right now. So if you came here today with that quiet feeling that you're ready for more, stay with us because in the next 45 minutes, we are going to show you exactly how to get there. I'll introduce our team to you. You will see our dear Dwayne Kildare. He is our Chief Information Officer here at the ISDJ. And to take you through this session will be our Chief Academic Affairs Officer, Mrs. Sonia Mahan. Welcome to the team and welcome to you. Sonia, let's go.
Thank you so much, Pam, and thank you for taking the time out of your day, whether you're in the mid-morning or you're in the early afternoon or you're approaching nighttime. Welcome and thank you for being here with us today. We are the International School for Development Justice, and we are one of the business arms of the University of the West Indies, who is the premier, and that is the premier post-secondary training and university here in the Caribbean region, serving the region, rooted in the Caribbean, but connected globally. You can find we've graduated over 50,000 students over that time period, and you can find a UE graduate anywhere in the world on any of the continents. And we stand by that. We are the ISDJ. We were built to solve a problem. We were built to bring presence to the Sustainable Development Goals and to allow persons to get the knowledge, get the content that they need, build the networks, develop the skills and competencies so that we can address, as Pam said, the most pressing issues on the planet. Unlike what some may think, I suspect we are going to be on this planet into for quite some time, and there's no alternative for us. For us in our generation, maybe my children's generation, maybe another generation after that, we can explore camping on the moon. But this is our planet, and we have to ensure that we can live well and thrive on the planet that we have responsibility for. So at the University of the West Indies, at the International School of Development Justice, it's part of the university arm, we are under that umbrella. The ISDJ project is endorsed by the United Nations, so we are not sneaking in the back door. We are the first first online, totally online graduate school built completely around. That's what we are. That is who we are. That is our purpose around the 17 SDGs. And our programming, no one program covers all of them, but the inventory of programs, our ecosystem, allows us to address the issues across all 17 SDGs. We are backed and funded by the IDB. So again, we are UB's most ambitious academic project that's reaching the globe. And therefore, part of our purpose, part of why we are here, is that we are encouraging, partnering, walking with you, the change makers, who will lead the charge. You will create the change. You will make the difference. And we are going to be partnering alongside you to do just that. We are also accredited by our head office, so to speak, is in Barbados, and we are accredited by the Barbados Accreditation Council, and have through that and our connections with the region, accreditation recognized throughout the entire Caribbean region as well. So this is a bit of who we are, and now why does the world need us? Why does the world need us? Why does the world need you? The world needs you to solve the problems in your individual space, in your localized space, in your region, and in fact, globally relevant challenges that you may have the answer to. So the world needs you equipped to build those solutions. The UN's, the sustainability, the SDGs are not targets. They're not just targets. They're not just something that you can put on your wall and take a look at. This is our lived experience, particularly for those of you who are in SIDS territory, small island developing states. We live these challenges. So the 17 SDGs are a mandate for transformation, and that transformation begins with equipping you with the knowledge, skills, competency, and networks and that infrastructure, both intellectual and otherwise, to be able to make that change. We are therefore going to be looking at leaders who are going to be tackling the climate action, those who are going to be interested in transforming public health, ensuring that the data drives decision making, and ensuring that we can measure the ESGs, or we can measure for sustainability and allow companies, both companies in the private sector, institutions in the CSO space, governmental organizations, to really begin to measure their impact and to measure their advantages as well, and to record their wins. And of course, in this space, allow you the techniques, the knowledge, the frameworks to build your own enterprises to feed all of the other elements here that you're seeing on the screen. So let's take a look at the programming. I forgot to say, this is an interactive session, so please don't hesitate. We didn't put it up first, or I think it was on one of the slides, Pam, was it? Please don't hesitate to put your hand up, or to, if you have a burning question, drop it in the Q&A so that we can respond to it. I know Pam and Dwayne are going to be interacting with you even as I go through this morning's presentation. So across a set of pillars, this is why the world needs you. And our programs are designed to help to equip you, as we said, to build the solutions for your lived problems, build the solutions at that center and focus on where you are, allow you to explore your passions while getting yourself certified along the way. Here are 10 areas that we are offering programming in. The ones on the left side, my left, climate and development studies, sustainable management, sustainable entrepreneurship so climate and development studies, public health and informatics, sustainability and data analytics, sustainable development and justice, and sustainable leadership and development. I know they're sort of integrated here. Those are available right now for application. So if you go onto our site, we're going to go take you through the application steps. Those are available, those are ready for you. So are you ready to explore what is going on in climate studies around the world? Or again, in your particular locale? Are you interested in preparing yourself for a job or to build a company with this as its focus? The program here is for you. As we look towards public health, and we all went through, can you believe that we're in 2026? So the pandemic was 6 years ago. We were hearing about the pandemic. This is June. The world began to shut down in March of 2020, and we are 6 years on from the pandemic. One of the lessons learned was that data needs to drive decision making. One of the lessons learned was to ensure that we had the tools, data and information being some of that one set of those tools to ensure that we can serve the underserved community, identify the communities and serve the underserved communities within our locale. And the public health sector really felt this as decisions were being made daily. I know here in the Caribbean, in Barbados as well, there were daily reports, and our governmental officers from our Prime Minister, Mia Motley, and those in her team were getting their dashboards about the impacts and what was happening on the ground daily. UWI was a part of UWI. One of our sister campuses we're proud to be a part of that exercise. So we are really familiar with how our students, our communities, and so on rallied to ensure that the decision makers were able to access the data digitally that was valid, that allowed them and drove the decision making as required. Sustainability and data analytics, if we expand the field, again, what does the data tell you? How are you going to use the data to demonstrate your commitment to the ESGs? If you're looking for development funding, if you're looking for green financing, if you're looking for investors, if you're trying to provide products and services to a sophisticated generation who are not only looking for the cost of your products, but looking at the quality and the impact that you providing those services and those products will have as legacy on the environment, then you have to be able to measure your impact in this space. And that's what sustainability and data analytics does. It allows you to drive the organizations to drive your, again, decision making across sustainability promises so that it's not just what you're promising, but it's what you can measure and what you can prove as well. When we speak of sustainability, development, and justice, how do you ensure that the sustainability is not an afterthought, especially to the communities that get impacted the most? Again, as a citizen in a SIDS, as a citizen where we are not those who pollute, let's say, the atmosphere the most, but we certainly feel the effects of the environmental impacts of climate of environmental impacts. How do we encourage our governments and our organizations to put sustainability, again, as I said, not as an afterthought, but as a key component when we're building policies? How do we ensure that when we are talking about development for housing, for agriculture, for tourism, albeit that we need to feed, house, and gain revenue from those three major sectors, that we are ensuring the policies that drive those sectors still have at its core sustainability and legacy building in mind, and not talk about it, but have the knowledge, skills, and capability to influence, to understand what the problem is, and to influence the policies thereof. And therefore, ensuring that the underserved or the lesser voiced, those who are going to be impacted the most, who are often at the bottom of our economic scales, are not overlooked when we are developing our societies. And you can see some of the others here as well. So as you look around the programming that we have, which one piques your interest? Which one speaks to your passion? Which one allows you to develop your skill sets, develop your knowledge base so that you can really advance your career no matter where you are? Which one of these speaks to you as though you can now see a place that you can ground your passion. So whether it is you building us in our entrepreneurship and innovation space, you may have come up with a new opportunity, or you may have something happening in your local environment that is scalable. And here is a program on sustainable entrepreneurship and innovation, which again gives you the skill sets to how do you communicate that vision? How do you build a proposal that allows you to attract financing? How do you use the technologies and the analytical tools to be able to position your organization or to position your idea into something that will attract interest so that you can develop, implement, and scale? So I'm going to pause for a moment and ask you, drop it in the chat or the Q&A. No, drop it in the chat. This is one, Pam, that you could take a look at the chat. Is there any program here that is speaking to you that you're saying, huh, maybe, just maybe, this is the year that I can explore this passion? The one
Pastor
thing I
Tina,
want, Mhm,
you have a question.
sure.
What is the difference between the two programs, sustainability management and the sustainable leadership and development?
Excellent question. So, sustainability management looks at you being able to manage the organization and the resources within the organization and the environment, whereas sustainable leadership and development, so that's sort of like the middle to the lower end of the organization and developing that skill set. Sustainable leadership goes beyond any individual institution or single institution or company or locale and talks about changing your mindset. So the courses and the material that you're going, there's a little overlap. I think they share one course in common, but so we have sustainable management as one of the courses for the sustainability management program, but we have transformational leadership for sustainability in our leadership programming. So one is allowing you to prepare yourself to be that strategic thinker. It doesn't matter even where you are or where you're positioned today. That allows you, like I said, to develop yourself with the mindset, build those muscles so that you can attain the highest level no matter where you will eventually end up. Yes, it can target those who are already there, but it prepares you for the journey ahead. I hope I was able to have I answered the question, and the participant can let me know.
Yes. So, in a nutshell, sustainable management is for the managing your sustainable, okay, let's start over. Sustainable leadership is strategic. Strategies are put in place, and then the management is the person who will then actualize those
Hmm.
strategies that are with the lower
Yes.
team. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sheena would have asked that question. Is your question answered? You can always raise your hand or say in the chat or Q&A. Someone asked, please climate study. Yes, she said yes, it was. So we can look forward to receiving an application from Miss Edwards about to make a decision, and then she'll look
And
into
sorry to cross stop, Pam, and
it.
inviting them to also, I think you'll put it in the chat if you haven't already, to visit our website where they can get more detail on each of these programs as well and see the nuances between some of them.
Oh, yes. Sustainability and data analytics as a future researcher. One student has indicated that's his trail
And
path that he'll be
we
following.
are, okay, color us not surprised. This is the one that has captured the imagination of all the programming that we have.
Yeah.
Sustainability and data analytics is the one that has captured the imagination of our participants or those who are interested in our programming. This is by far the one that has garnered the most interest, and in fact, is the one our first cohort of students are following the sustainability and data analytics program as we speak.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so then how do
So
we get on board?
So, just one thing I want to note, well, let me leave it here. Each program has three options. You can start, you can apply directly to any of these options, but let me speak of what the differences are. All of our programming is stackable, so nothing that you do is not going to be counted. You can start at the program, so at the certificate level, and is in as little as I'm getting excited, so I'm stumbling over my words. In as little as 16 learning weeks. So if you start in August with us in August, by December, you have met the requirements of your first step of this first rung in this ladder. So if you apply for the postgrad certificate, you can be complete by December. The 16 weeks full time, it means that when we talk about full time, you are following the program two courses at a time. If you're talking about coming through the program part time, you're following the courses one course at a time. So the math is not difficult-ish. So for the first program, the postgrad certificate, 16 weeks full time, 32 weeks learning weeks part time. For the postgrad diploma, there's a little overlap. So you're seeing 32 weeks full time. So you can be finished, if you start in August, you can be finished by April 2027, right around the corner. I can't believe it's already the middle of June, Pam. So before you blink, you're already into next year, and you can be finished by April, May 2027. Taking it part-time, it's going to take you almost double that. So that's going to be closer to the end of the year, December, if not January. And if you continue and up the ladder, so you start at postgrad certificate, you can ladder up to the postgrad diploma. Everything you did at the postgrad certificate contributes to what you're doing at the postgrad diploma. And then you can ladder up to the master's level, which is 14 months, 15 learning weeks, and you are complete. So if you start in August, you are finished in August 2027 will take you into your research course and you're finished about October 2027. So if you're completing the program full time, you can be handing in your final project. That is where you're going to show all that you've learned, whether it's a research project or an applied project or a practicum, solving a solution, building a solution for one of your passions. You can be completed by October 2027. So, where do you start? You don't have to commit to the master's level at day one. You can choose to start at the postgrad certificate. Before you are completed your second set of courses, so if you're doing it full time, two courses you'll start in August, and then your final two courses, if you enroll in the postgrad certificate, will be starting in November, will be starting late October, and you're then finished in December. Partway through, about the beginning of November, you're going to get communication from us. Are you interested in laddering up? You may not be. The postgrad certificate might fulfill the certification that you want, but you may be, and you can apply then for a change, an upgrade from the postgrad certificate to the diploma. So you can exit at the certificate, or you can continue on to the diploma. So you'll notice if you start at the postgrad certificate, it costs you $3,500 for this degree, for this certification, this postgrad certification. If you're coming directly in, you apply and you come directly into the postgrad diploma, that's going to be 7,500 US. And we have fought to ensure that we are able to deliver this highest quality and still retain access. We have to keep the lights on, but still make our programming, our content, our networks, our infrastructure, our partnership with you accessible. So direct entry to our master's level is 10,000 US dollars, and that is extremely competitive. However, if you choose, like I said, to start with the postgrad certificate, then you can choose how you want to continue on. So whether it's because of everything that you're involved in, whether you want to take it at a slower pace, whether it's because of financing and you want to ensure that you are able to pay for your journey at a staggered rate, you again can ladder from certificate to diploma. Once you have the certificate, you can, it has to be in the same area. So if you've enrolled in the postgrad certificate for sustainability and data analytics, you can upgrade to the diploma or you can upgrade directly to the master's in sustainability and data analytics. Do we have any questions there, Pam?
Sorry,
Right.
yes, Miss King has a few questions. Would you like to ask those questions live? You can let me know in the chat or indicate with a raise hand and I will open your mic for you.
Right. And we do have flexible payment plans available, which would be be determined, their schedule of payment will be determined by your pathway through what are enrolled in and your pace, whether you're going full-time or part-time.
Larissa, would you like to ask your questions live?
Hello.
Your mic. Hi, hello, Miss
Hi.
Larissa. Hi, thank you for joining us. Please go ahead and
Um,
ask your question.
okay, so I'm interested in the program. My position are I'm from the Bahamas and I work at Princess Margaret Hospital as the position as the infectious prevention and control manager. And I'm really interested in the public health um course that you're offering,
Mhm.
and particularly the master's degree one. My background in education is, well, my foundation is nursing. I'm a registered nurse, and I just wanted to know if you can just explain more about the master's degree portion.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, if you give me just a moment, we are going to go. The slide after this one actually talks
Mhm.
about how to apply and what we're looking for. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, the other thing we want to emphasize is it is always especially when we are trying to invest in ourselves, is it worth it? What are you getting in the return for this investment in yourself? You are getting the UE qualification, and for those in the region, if for those of you from the region, UE is a known entity. For those of you who are now being introduced to us for the first time, we are a known entity, internationally recognized degree from a university that is not a fly-by-night. We have been here for over 75 years, fully accredited, and therefore the programming that we offer is also accredited. Globally relevant, and there's no residency requirements. You can take this program from where you are. And we have gone one more in this model. We deliver all of our program asynchronously online. So we're not just online, which means there's no residency requirement. You can choose your own timetable to follow the material. We deliver our courses in 8-week blocks. So your course start opens. For example, the course that opened recently for our students opened on June 8th, which was just this week, Pam, wasn't it? June 8th, and will close on July 31st. So that means 8 weeks. They're going to go through all the content and all the assessments, and that course is put to bed. Those courses, because both of them are completing the program full time, those courses are put to bed and they are finished on July 31st. So not only do you not have to interrupt you don't have to disturb your career. There's no career pause needed. You don't have to take a leave of absence and to come into a different locale. You are fully online, asynchronous as well. And as I said before, your credits, your credentials are stackable. And now to address your question, how do you really do this? How do you apply? First, you visit our portal, and we're going to go through the steps. And do you have the qualification? Pam or Dwayne, do we have the link, the pre-screening tool?
I'll have Dwayne put that in for you in
Right.
the
Yes,
chat
I
for you.
put it in the chat.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Excellent.
I
So
put
we be
the website, Sonia, so persons can click the website and get and browse as you speak.
as well. So we have developed a tool for you if you are really interested in our programming and you can't quite decide, am I eligible to go through your programming? We've developed an AI assisted pre-screening tool that can help you answer that question for yourself. So you go through, it's not very long. I think it takes about 5 minutes to go through, Pam. 5, 10 minutes, if that long,
About
depending
10
on,
minutes, 5, 10 minutes. Yeah, it's not
yes,
long.
to go through. But it allows you to see, do I have the mindset, the motivation, the qualifications? Of course, you have to have the qualifications in order to get into this program, and allows you to do some self-reflection as to where you are and what you hope to achieve. So there's no commitment, there's no fee, you're not signing up, you're not applying, you are determining, am I ready? That's what the pre-screening tool is for. For those who are interested in public health, that is the only one of our programs that we are stricter on the requirements to get into the program. For generally to get into any postgraduate program, no surprise, you are favorably considered if you have an honors degree. That means a GPA of 2.5 and above. For public health and informatics, we are looking for background in health or sciences. So that your background is absolutely perfect for this. So whether our quantitative type background. So when you look visit our website, it's going to show you again what the specific qualifications are, the specific degrees are for public health. But if you have a degree in the medical field or in the health field, health information systems, health sciences, if you did your BMed, if you did any of the natural sciences, I think econ is in there as well. Computer science may be in there. It's ringing in my head. But our website will definitely tell you the areas. For every other area, we don't have restrictions based on what undergraduate degree you have. You're eligible once you have an honors degree. But what if I don't have an honors degree? If you have a past degree, your GPA when you graduated at undergraduate level was at 2 but below 2.5. We want to see that you've had some experience, some preferably post-degree experience, but some experience, 2 years work experience that really solidified your learning and therefore really important for you to submit your CV that we can see the whole picture of you. There are some of you who may have gone into the world of work first, and this is the first opportunity you're thinking of having an official uh, university level certification. Your experience counts with us. So if you're a mid-career professional that have been taking courses in your field or your area, but you don't have an undergraduate degree, fill out the pre-screening tool. You can still apply because if you have been at 5 years plus, particularly at higher levels of management in your organization, we want to give you the opportunity. We call that a qualifying pathway. We've developed a course that gives you a feel for what a postgraduate level of study will be. Since you didn't have the undergraduate experience, we want to ensure that you are in a position to manage the rigor of an undergraduate course, particularly over an 8 week span. So there's a qualifying course that sits outside of your programming to determine and for you to decide for yourself as well, can I manage this rigor? On passing that, then there is an official offer or consideration for the program of choice. So let's say you started in a pharmacy and you have some competency-based certification, but not that would be considered a full degree. So you didn't do a B Farm, for example. But you have been working and maybe managing the client-facing side of the pharmacy for a number of years. We want to give you the opportunity, and you're interested in public health and informatics. You don't have the traditional academic background, but your experience will count with us. So don't have that be a deterrent for you not applying. So here's it. You visit the portal, select apply now, and the QR code on screen gives you direct access to the apply now link. There is a $15 non-refundable application fee to have your application process. You submit your documents once through our partner qualification check, and once all of your documents are submitted, a turnaround time is between 3 and 4 weeks to get an answer back to you, and you can track your application online as well. So when you're applying, you complete your online application form. You pay your 15 US dollar application fee. You now get yourself ready to submit your documents. If you are no ma- we need to verify your identity. You're going to be coming to us from around the globe. So you need to get yourself in order, a valid passport or your national ID, because the platform qualification check is going to verify that you are who you say you are against the government issued ID. So that you're going to be scanning that photo, you're going to be taking a photo of your face and let the AI do its magic to say that you are who the documentation says you are and your ID is verified. If you are a UB graduate, you don't need to do the next step. Submit your degree, certificate, and transcript, because if you are a UB graduate, we will pull your transcript for you. If your degree or your certifications are not from the UWY, you then take the next step and validate your qualifications. And qualification check will you will be going through qualification check to validate the qualifications that you have submitted. Now, we have no ownership of this. It means, what do I mean by that? You develop an online wallet. So anytime you're interacting with any system that you need to verify your identity, you have a possession of a digital wallet that you've already done it. So that one-time payment, that one-time fee can last you the for your lifetime. Particularly for those who don't have honors degree, we want you to submit your updated resume as well. We want to see the whole picture of you. You are more than the undergraduate degree result that you got, that you may not have enjoyed if it wasn't an honors degree, but you are so much more than that. We want to see a whole picture of you. And for those who don't have an undergraduate degree, you still go through the process and we really take a look at your degree, at what you're submitting for us to consider. And for those who are going through the non-academic route, you may be subject to an interview, depending on how thoroughly we can vet you or get to know you through your resume or your updated CV. By updated, we mean that it should be no older than 6 months. You may be subject to an interview, or you may not be, depending on how detailed and thorough that CV is. All the documents are going to be uploaded to qualification check as well, both for your verification verification of identity as well as the validation of your certificates. So does that answer, if you can unmute again, does that answer the questions that you had there?
Definitely.
Excellent. So this is the Q&A part as we continue this, and I'm loving hearing your voices. So your questions with us, the team is here. This is your chance to ask any member of the team anything before you apply or while you apply. How does the online? So we had three questions that we keep getting from the sessions that we had. So we've just collated them here. How does the online learning work? Can I pay in installments? Is my first degree enough to qualify? So I think I've answered the last one already. And can you pay in installments? Yes, there is a payment plan which is customized to you. It does depend on, I didn't want it to quite go there yet. It does depend on what program you're in, how you're following the program, what the payment schedule looks like. And how does online learning work? You are going to be going through a student portal and registering for the courses for your program. You can take a look on our website at the ISDJ handbook, and it gives you a good feel for what the structure of those first five programs that I spoke about, what they look like. And the courses open on a particular date, close on a particular date. You're able to navigate the modules that are built for the course. You're supported, as I said, it's asynchronous, so you're not expected to be on a Zoom link every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Barbados time. All of the times in the course site is aligning with Eastern Caribbean time, or AST. So right now in Barbados, Pam, what time? I'm not seeing my clock.
It's a quarter to 11 here in Barbados.
Quarter to 11.
43.
Yeah, 10:45 a.m. in Barbados. So if an assignment is due, the assignment is going to be due on Barbados time. The Modules open once you complete the previous module. There are knowledge checks along each module as well. And you're supported by the faculty member, the course lead, all the content is there, but the course lead is there to interact with you, especially when you get closer to the scheduled assessments in the course. Usually depending on the course, there is usually an assessment at the end of week 3 or 4 if there is week 3 or 4, and then in week 8. Some courses may have assessments as early as week 2, then again at week 6, and then again at week 8. So it does depend on the course. And you are invigilated for the final assessment. All is 100% coursework, but the final assessment in your course is an invigilated assessment. It depends on the type of assessment. It could take the form of an exam, which you are going to take on your system. We proctor with Respondus, so you may be taking an exam with Respondus. It may be a case presentation that you're able to build a report for, and your final piece of that assessment is that you have to present live and interact with your peers and your instructor, whoever is going to be scheduled for that particular session. So part of the assessment is going to be proctored or invigilated, depending on the type of assessment it is. You're also supported by a virtual student experience officer who's going to be monitoring your progress through the course. So while you have the flexibility of how you interact with material, that officer is there to make sure you are not having any challenges. If you are having challenges, that you can reach out. If for some reason your sheet is not loading, you can email or you can report that and get a response back. Um, as well, so you have the course lead, you have the virtual student experience officer, and we have a technical specialist also to ensure seamless navigation on the site. And there's one more thing that we have done. We have built an AI tutor into every one of our courses. So that tutor is available 24/7 as well for you to interrogate the material. It is a closed system. So the AI tutor is bound by the scope and the materials in the course. It does not feed anything and it doesn't take anything from the internet, but you are able to interact with her name is Maya. You're able to interact with Maya 24/7. And there is a functionality, guys, that we found that has been recently developed with that tool. And even though we are an English speaking institution and all of our materials are in English, if English is not your first language, you can actually use Maya to translate and respond to you in your language of choice. So we're really happy about that functionality. So that's a bit about the how the online learning works. Are there
So,
any other questions?
yes, I have a question. Does the program provide for students to gain practical experience and build professional networks while studying?
So the answer is yes, and this one is definitely dependent on your program of choice. If you are in the master's program, we are expecting you to get the practical experience as you go through. There are some courses that are more theoretical, but in every course, we have that practical or that applied application of theory embedded within the course. You are not only exposed to the resources here at the University of the West Indies, but in the partners that we built along the way. So the UN University or the UN Institute, we have access to their materials as well and their networks as well. Even though the programming is built as asynchronous programming, there are opportunities for live interactions. We can't promise when those will be, but I promise that when you are in your courses and something happens that we can't possibly ignore, despite the fact that the course material is already built, we've created that kind of section in every course to ensure that we are exposing you or giving you and your colleagues in the course the opportunity to interact with the course lead and to interact with guest speakers or experts, not only within our UV system that have built the material, but experts around the world that are speaking on, demonstrating, applying the knowledge in innovation in innovative ways that you are exposed to that as they happen. So the course that you may take in September your first course in September, when we offer that again, something exciting, the core material will be the same, but something exciting might have been happening in a space that is being fed that information or that interaction, that opportunity is being fed through the course. Now, for those who are in the master's level, you get the opportunity in your final project in sustainability to really demonstrate the skills and the competencies that you've built throughout the programming. The course, I said that we deliver courses in 8-week blocks. That is the only exception. Having completed every other course, that course then builds on everything that you've done before. So you have to have completed, have been graded on all the other courses. At the master's level, there are 11 courses. So the 10 courses that you would have done, 10 times 3 is 30. Each of those were 3 credits, and the 36 credits comes from that final project in sustainability. That's where you're going to be demonstrating your practical or your applied side. It is unlikely that you're going to be doing any primary research. We have 16 weeks from the beginning to the end of that project, but you can be interacting with secondary data. You can be building a project proposal for a passion project that you may have had. You can be building a media campaign depending on which program you're in. So the project does not necessarily look the same, even within the same program suite. That final project may not look the same, and we really want the program coordinators are raring to go. This is now next year, September we're talking about, but they're raring to go to see what they're going to be bedazzled by and how you're going to wow the world with your solutions as you build them out. Preparing you for that course is the research methods course. And part of the outcome of the research methods course is going to be your proposal for what you're going to do next. So it's all nicely synced, one puzzle piece into the other. But we are expecting to learn as much from you. So the opportunity for you to interact, to do the discussion boards, to get to know your cohort and to build that community. Pam has some things up her sleeve. I'm not going to tell you anything now, but I am really excited myself as Pam, our customer relationship manager, helping to build the community even outside of the programs so that you feel that you're never alone, which you are not, but we are going to be building a community in this space. So I hope I was able to answer that, Pam.
Yes, actually, Mr. John dropped out a little bit while you were answering.
Ah,
So if we could just do two quick sentences, the answer would be yes to both.
hmm And especially at the master's level, because that's where you're going to
Mhm.
have more time with the courses and you're going to be able to use your final research project, your final project in sustainability to really exemplify and showcase all of the learning that you have done before.
One more question. Thank you so very much. Ms. John, please let us know if that answered your question. Who are some of the other partners outside of the UN?
Okay, so we have been partnering not only with QC, which allows us to do your qualifications and your verification. We are a global university driven by sustainability, so it should be no surprise that your ID cards from the very beginning are going to be digital, stored on your mobile wallet, so that you can pull those out as well. We have established relationships with various universities at University of Glasgow, Sunny universities, and with institutes even within our own system for
Mm-hmm.
sustainability, our Center for Biosecurity, which is at Cave Hill, our DRRC, which is at Disaster Resilience Center, which is at St. Augustine, and
The University
the
of Johannesburg as well.
the University of Johannesburg as we're exploring partnerships there and exchanging not only of content, but well, we're not talking about students exchanges yet, but that opportunity for faculty to contribute in each other's spaces. So that list is expanding. And if you take a look at our website, you'll see our partners page as
Mm,
well.
yes. There any, let me see if there are any other questions. Wonderful. The answer, Mr. John said the question was answered. And yes, so those are the questions that we have so far. If there's any other questions while we are in the final few moments of our session, please, you can raise your hand. I'll unmic you so that you can speak. and ask them live, or you can type them in the chat.
So I have a question for the audience.
Okay.
Are they ready? Are you? I'm speaking to each of you individually. You may have made promises to yourself when the year turned 6 months ago, if you can believe it. I still remember where I was as the year turned from 2025 to 2026. And we always do, oh, how am I going to be better? How am I going to make the new year is a brand new year full of possibilities. If you're still I'm encouraging you to still have that energy and make the leap, not the step, but make the leap at this point to develop yourself for you, or to develop yourself, whether it's for positioning yourself for your career, stepping up in your career, or being able to get the qualifications for what you're passionate about and make a career change. So whether you are a new graduate looking to see what impact am I going to make on the world, I'm not quite sure where I am going yet, but I love working in my community. Whether you are a mid-career professional looking to either go into a new space or to advance in your current organization, take the leap. The commitment, very minimal at this point, $15 to apply. It is better to submit the application and then make the decision, I'm not ready to come in, than to be in September and be wondering, should I have applied for this round? So it's better to apply. Let's get you processed, and then you can make the decisions later on. What do you think, Pam?
I think that's excellent because I was trying to turn my camera on so we can talk. I think that's an excellent suggestion because hear what? It's better to have it than to not need it, than to need it and not have it.
There
So
you go.
applying, having the offer say, hey, you know what? I'm looking for the funding. I'm quite don't have it quite yet, but let me apply and have it there because you're gonna need the application offer letter to get the funding. Don't let money be an object. We offer payment plans. You pay 50% down and then you pay the amount, the difference, the other 50% in another over the period of your program. So don't let that be an issue. Don't let the fact that, hey, I have only work experience be an issue. That's not an issue. We have alternative routes that you can come in. Sonia mentioned our SDGC 6000 course. You do that course, you ace it because that's who you are, a acer, and you come in through that route. So we have made it so that one is affordable. One is time. It's your time. You don't have to leave home. You can put the kids to bed. Then you can go on the computer and submit your assignments. You can wake up early in the morning and say, hey, let me put in a couple of hours before I go to work. At lunchtime, you can clue back in, do that quiz, finish that module. That's how accessible this program is for you, a working person. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to share with you, don't be afraid to say, oh, it's a master's. Our content is so interactive. Our content is so, I want to say fun because who thinks work is fun? But what you're learning, it just opens your mind and you're saying, hey, I want to know more about this. We've made it that because being online by yourself, there's nobody teaching in front of you. We have to make it that it's something that makes you want to come and do it. So it's colorful, it's vibrant, and the information is relevant. And that's what it is. Sonia talked about changing. Once something happens, once there are adaptations, once there's new research, we pull that content and we update it. Right. So we don't make it that you are using content 2 years old. It is relevant. Time is now content that our courses offer you. So with that said, this is the QR code on the screen for our application portal. I've placed our website link in the chat that you can go and explore as much as you can. And Duane has placed our pre-screening tool. The pre-screening tool is awesome. It says that's the first step. I'm gonna see if it's a good fit for me. And then you'll see it's a good fit for me. The next step is to apply. And we'll share that and we'll contact you. We'll share with you. We'll walk along the path with you is what I'll say.
So
We're
there
not
was an
gonna leave you
interesting
alone.
Right. There was an interesting question in the chat about whether there's going to be in person. Our model is not in person. We are a different channel than what may be traditionally in this space, even at the master's level. So
Mm-hmm.
we are not competing with those who want the face-to-face or in-person experience, and that's fine. The ISDJ model, though, is purely online, and not only
Yeah.
online, asynchronously online. So interact with the tool and see where you're positioned. I have three daughters. All three of them, COVID gave an experience that said they needed to be face to face. I lecture at the university, and I have students who are struggling to balance the requirement of being resident or being face to face with their other responsibilities. You have to determine which model works for you. Where are you energized, or what fits your life at this
Mm-hmm.
point in time? So unfortunately, Pam, you've now given Pam an idea for a reunion or a get together, depending on where people are in the world. I can see her face
Listen,
already lit up. So
yes.
you just
Wait.
lit Pam up to encourage her. Let's do a line in Barbados,
Yes.
Jamaica. In Jakarta, we are actually on our way to a conference next week in Jakarta, in Toronto, in Dubai. Let's do a line depending on where you are so I can see your face, Pam. We are not there
Listen.
yet, Pam.
No, but here's where we are. We can do a luau evening where you put your luau's on and we're all gonna come on screen and we're all gonna have a conversation. We're all gonna chat. We're all gonna come up with unique and interesting, fun things that we can do to ensure that your experience on the portal, on the with us here at ISDJ is exceptional. So we're looking forward to receiving your applications. Please reach out to us. I'm gonna put the email address that you can reach out. I can Dwayne can do that for me.
It's here on the
The
screen,
Excuse
isdj
me.
at
Oh yes, there's a
ue.edu.
question.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Somebody said, excuse me.
Um, I'm
Oh,
trying to log in because I have already sent a few of my documents, but it's not allowing me to log back in with the password.
Larissa send me an email and
mhm.
I'm gonna put my email in the chat right now.
Hmm.
Send me an email and we will if the chat would come up and we will I'll reach out to you. I'm gonna place it here. Any person can who has a question. So you try to apply before today?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So this is my email. Um, on the email address that if you have questions that that you want us to answer, I'm gonna send you our admissions email address as well. Admissions.isdj@uwi. You can also use that to send any queries or questions you may have about us. You have our links. Reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Sonia and Dwayne, and to all of our guests today, thank you so very much for joining us on this session. We have them every other week or so before the end of our portal closes on July 10th for our August intake. Um, so we will reach out to you again. So we will have another session so that we can talk with each other. We can answer any questions you may have. The next one will be a surprise to see what we're going to talk about then. So Sonia, thank you so much. Dwayne, as always, thank you. And to our guests, have a wonderful day and afternoon. We look forward to seeing you online. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Everyone.
everyone.